Okay, we're back with episode 9 of episode 9, but part 4 of Wrath of the Dead. A couple of weeks have passed, so we're all trying to remember what happened. And yes, you have just left the church and the vicarage after finding the temple underground, and you have informed Holmes that of the plot to replace Queen Victoria. So, you all meet back at, I don't know where your meeting place is. You're going to meet back at someone's home, perhaps, or a pub.
I believe last time was Nathaniel's house.
Yeah,
but I might be mistaken.
Whichever is
we should
closest.
meet at my
actually,
house. I just got the latest Eternal Bow crockery set.
Are you going to be making any food to put on your tea sets?
Well, I got some carrots.
Perhaps we should pick something up on the way then.
Yes.
I have heard that carrots in cups is the latest trend in London high society.
Okay, so you all make it back to Nathaniel's place, and you're met by I forget who it was. Who is it that told Holmes again? Sorry, that was Mr. Roscar again.
I'm the only one that's spoken to Holmes, I think, other than the initial encounter where he dropped a business card in Lawrence's pocket.
Yeah.
You did, yeah. So you'll meet back there. Mrs. Roscar turns up a bit later, saying that she's spoken to Holmes and he's arranging a meeting to talk to his brother. We don't know who his brother is necessarily. Is there anything more you want to do that night, or I can't remember enough to know what was going on?
Well, it comes down to this, right? We can't allow this ritual to happen.
No.
Or if it does, maybe it should have a different beneficiary. The common people. Someone like myself.
I was about to say, no, I don't think Queen Roscar is happening anytime soon.
Absolutely not.
Here's
good Cornish name, that.
Over my dead body.
Right.
All right.
Here's Archibald McCormick, broom salesman. But it comes down to wait till they all arrive and then take them there, which risks if we fail they actually complete the ritual, or do we stall them and maybe take them out individually and stop them getting enough members to actually show up?
Is there any way of sabotaging things in the temple so it's preventable? So they turn up, but they can't do it.
Well, I had a thought. It's a bit silly, but it might work, actually.
I also have a thought, but you go first, Mr. Chamberlain.
No, I mean, we saw the plinth where they were going to be doing the ceremony, and that the blood would pool and catch. Could it be as simple as finding some way of blocking the passages so the blood can't actually get anywhere?
I've got a better idea than blocking. How about flooding?
Ooh.
It's right next to a sewer.
Oh, shit.
Instead of just postponing what is something really bad going to happen, other than giving Mrs. Roscar the reins of the country. What I wanted to do last time, Phil, was to ask my Guardian Archon
You did.
the two questions I wanted to ask. Because one of them is if we are able to find some sort of list of people that we can get to, Mr. Holmes' brother, that
Yeah.
I do as a player know, but as a character, I don't think I do.
Do you want a list of people that can watch? Sorry, what was that you want to?
I want to ask 3 questions. So
Yes.
basically, if the judge of Holt's case is part of this cult, this is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a list of members of this cult, even the high ups, and that's it.
Okay.
The third one is if Holt is actually a consensual associate of this cult.
Okay. Yeah.
As I brought down, I have to roll, of course,
You do.
and if successful, they can answer yes or no, or just refuse to answer altogether.
Yes. Okay. Do you want? So do you want to keep? Sorry. Do you want to do the roll?
Yes. Is it resolve and go to schism, right?
Yes.
Okay. Black dice.
3.
There's. Oh no. Okay. I have to roll the 6. Yeah. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. You ask if the judge is in the cult, and you get a resounding no to that one.
Okay.
Okay. And okay, so you get an answer. You don't get an answer to the second question,
Okay.
but you get an answer to the third, which is a yes.
Okay.
What was the third question again?
If Holt is a consensual associate of this cult.
Okay.
In other words, there's no one going there because he thought it was just going to be a party.
Hmm.
Yeah, thing is, given what we know, I wouldn't rush anymore in trying to save his skin. Rather, I bring the evidences to the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're not part of the cult, they may know people and ways for us to stop them, other than flooding the whole sewage system.
Agreed.
I mean, that's my intention, at least.
I only have one caveat. British justice is notoriously slow.
That's what I'm thinking.
They may not react in time.
Yeah, that
So-
really gets down to when Mr. Holmes is contacting his brother, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that might happen a little more speedily.
Might. Remember, he gave us this this mission because he was too busy with other things.
He's going to have to free up his calendar, I think. I think this is going to take a bit of priority.
Well, hopefully, if nobody else is plotting to kill the Queen anytime soon.
I think they'll take that quite seriously. And once he passes it on to his brother as well, then they'll move through government relatively quickly. Did you tell him, Mrs. Roscar, that the Home Secretary was in on it?
You're muted.
I believe I did,
He did. Okay.
because that was kind of the key of why I was telling him. So
Okay. So you break up for that evening and go your separate ways. While you're at work, Mrs. Roscar, Archibald, and Nathan, you get a telegram asking you to attend Lawrence's station at 11:30 the next day.
Ooh.
Lawrence, you don't get such a message because obviously you'll be there anyway.
Oh, it's not what's his face doing this, is it?
Who's that?
The dude who tried to square me off when I was locking up that one time.
Shadows,
Oh,
brother.
yes. No, it's not. No. So you get a message to attempt to go to Lawrence's station, where he's station master at, and when you arrive there, obviously Lawrence is quite surprised to see you. But shortly after you arrive, a carriage stops and Holmes and another older gentleman get out and walk over to you. And Holmes says to you, very pleased to see all of you here. Mr. Clarkson, I hope you don't mind if we make use of your waiting room.
Well, as long as you don't bring the cart in, it is rather massive.
No, we won't do that. But this is my brother Mycroft. He has a bit of a surprise for you. And you'll go
We
into
are
the
all arrested. We are all arrested.
you go into the waiting room, and Mycroft shuts the door behind you. He says, "My brother's passed on your recent activities, and I have to thank you from the top levels that the effort you've put in has been quite extraordinary. We have a bit of a surprise for you. I believe," he takes his pocket watch out and looks at it. There is a special train coming through in just a few minutes.
I don't believe there is. I've not seen any sort of special train on the agenda today.
Well, this is a very special
That's
train.
why it's special.
Yes, but as you know, I'm the station master. I am responsible for any sort of special train suddenly turning up and causing jams.
I'm afraid the schedule has been adjusted, he says.
Oh, well, thanks for letting me know.
If you'd like to step out onto the station, I think we have a surprise for you that you will quite enjoy.
Very
If
well,
you'd,
then,
like to go,
Michael.
if you'd like to go right to the edge of the platform, we'll just be behind you.
Yes, yes, indeed.
We will find noses for all the four of us.
Or come and take a look around this this carriage that looks like a lion cage. You know, kind of thing.
You're getting executed,
And while
and no
you're
one will find out.
standing on the station, on the platform, you see a train puffing down the track from the distance. It's quite strange, not one you usually see, Lawrence, as there's only two carriages being pulled by a locomotive.
Oh God.
Good job, mate.
And when it hisses to a stop in the station, steam swirls around you. But as it slowly clears, you can see the Royal coat of arms on the carriage in front of you.
Oh dear, take the hat off.
And someone you've noticed, you came to your attention before, who was the just trying to think of what he's called. Yes, Lord George Mace gets off the back of the first carriage and
Oh,
puts his hat on. He's the head of the special
secret
branch.
branch responsible for the Construction Act.
And he walks over, and as he walks over, Mycroft goes to meet him. They shake hands. They talk briefly, and he looks at you and says, "You can just catch," saying to Mycroft, "Stranger, I seem to have seen him before somewhere." But never mind. Oh, everybody, if you'd like to come on board, we don't have a lot of time.
On board?
All right.
And
Well, if I'd have known about this, I would have trimmed my beard a little better.
I need myself one of these. Keep up, you know.
he leads you over to the carriage and opens the door and says for you to go in. As you go, you notice there's really thick plush carpets on the floor, and the arrangements and appointments inside are really expensive. As you board, there's plush seating. This is not like any rail carriage you've ever seen before. This is a home away from home, really. And there's a desk towards the far end of the carriage. It's slap bang in the middle of the carriage, with a very small figured woman behind it, writing away. And she looks up and she says, "Ah, you must be the persons that have done us such great service recently. Please come forward."
Are we on the land train 1 instead of Air Force 1?
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, effectively.
And
It's
Mycroft
Vic.
and Lord Mace following behind you, and you line up in front of the desk.
I'm going to pull out a coin and just make sure the head's different.
That's her.
That's her, yeah?
Can you look sideways? Yes, it is her.
Oh, I suppose I should bow. No, curtsy. Wait, what is the custom? It's curtsy, right?
Yes,
I'm not
correct.
shitting I'm not shitting my pants. You are.
You hear Mycroft Holmes from behind you say, "Yes, Your Majesty, these are the people that have lent us the assistance recently."
I'll curtsy and then
Yes.
nervously get distracted. But, oh, nice carpet.
And she says, "Oh, please, don't get up. I mean, I'm here to thank you. You've done me a massive service." And she gets up and comes around the desk, and she is quite short. And
As in my height, short, or a bit taller
she's
than
a
me?
bit taller than you, maybe.
Okay.
And she holds her hand out to you, Lawrence.
Well, and I hold it out, and I'm sort of looking for a ring, if I have to kiss a ring, or if she's thinking.
Yeah, there's a ring there. Yeah, there's a ring there. Are you going to sort of bow and kiss the ring?
Your Majesty, it's such an honour to come to my station like this. What a wonderful surprise!
Yes, well, I'm afraid Mycroft says from behind you, no one must know of this.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I shall wipe it from all records of the schedule today.
And then she moves on to Mrs. Roscar and holds her hand out as well.
I kiss close to the ring because I think you're not meant to kiss the ring itself.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like the
I
queen
do
don't
think
like
you're not
saliva on
really
her
supposed
hands.
to. I do think you're not really supposed to kiss anything.
Yeah,
Just
you
do the
kind of-
gesture close to the hand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
you-
gesture more than anything.
You can't have poor people spit on your jewellery, can you?
I
Well,
think
it's normally a
that's
thing you
basically
do
why,
with
yeah.
bishops rather than royalty over here. is that
Except,
right?
yeah, they have
Actually-
similar rules.
She moves on to Mr. McCormack and does the same thing.
Of course, I keep doing the
Yeah.
little theatrics.
And then Mr. Chamberlain.
I bow low, ma'am.
She
It's been
says,
an honor to serve you.
"Yes, of course, you've done everything you could. Obviously, this has been outstanding work from all of you. Mr. Holmes and Lord Mace has informed me of your actions. We have taken care of said family member He will be dealt with quietly. But in the meantime, Lord Mace has a little reward for you all. But I wanted to see you all in person just to extend our thanks to you.
Yeah, first sign of manacles, I'm running.
Of course, for Queen, Country, and Empire. I say in my poshest Tunbridge Wells accent.
Yeah, Lawrence is a little bit
Tunbridge Wells.
confused by your
See-
accent.
see-
but tries not
see,
to
I
react.
I was waiting to see whether she was going to ask us is there any great honour we could bestow, because I was going to ask if we could extend the border of Coventry, Cornwall, to include Tunbridge Wells.
We could bring Coventry into it as well.
Bring Coventry into it as well.
That's quite an extension.
Yeah.
Or redraw the map so that Tunbridge Wells is now seen as an annex of Cornwall.
Like a trading corridor.
Yes,
It's the satellite office.
satellite office,
Um,
similar to Alaska in the USA.
she says, I hope none of you were in danger during this escapade,
No more than we could handle.
but we shall let our nephew know that we are not amused in his actions.
Hey.
Had to get in there somewhere.
Yeah, had
Yeah.
to do that.
Mhm.
And she says, well, that's basically the interview over. She sort of turns around and goes back to her desk, and the Lord Mace says, right, the train's going to have to leave now. If you'd like to follow me to the station.
Very well.
And you go off the train, and as Lord Mace and Mycroft get to the carriage door, they turn and bow before they depart the train.
Yep, I do the same.
Walk backwards, curtsying the whole way and tripping over myself as I do so.
I walk backwards about halfway down, then bow, then walk back to the rest before turning, which is something I've seen them do ceremonially when they knight people.
And as you depart the train, it starts up again and leaves the station, leaving you four and Holmes, Mycroft, and Lord Mace standing on the station. Mace says, if we could go back into the waiting room.
Oh, no, nonsense. Not that scruffy, dingy little waiting room. No. Allow me to take you to the executive lounge.
Executive lounge.
Reserved for only our highest paying travellers.
In other words, it's your private office, but you've recently had it dusted.
No, I have an executive lounge for people who are going like first class on the flying,
Yes, that is true.
flying Scotsman or something. I don't know.
So you go into the first class lounge, and Lord Mace reaches inside his coat and pulls out these 4 coiled parchments. And he says, this is obviously has to stay very secret. But the Queen has actually knighted all of you in your absence. And he starts handing out scrolls to you. However, you're not allowed to use your title, I'm afraid.
What's the point?
It's
Well,
kind of
my
like being
question exactly.
Yes.
it's kind of like being handed £1 million but being told you can't spend it. It's
Well, once the potential scandal has died down, you'll be contacted by the Home Office, who will inform you how and when you can take up the benefits of your role.
oh, so you're saying it's unofficially official?
It's unofficially official. It will take effect in a few years, but you have these actual privileges now. So, should you come into any trouble with the law, if you could direct the police to contact Scotland Yard, with your names, then we can sort out some various issues for you.
I have a get out of jail free card.
I am now realizing that Mrs. Roscar is part of the elite now.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Part of the top 1%.
Oh no! She is Mrs. Soon to be Dame Roscar.
Oh no. Oh no.
But if this is going to happen in a few years, is it possible to maybe persuade Her Majesty to give us the whole knighting hog? You know, the sword.
I'm sure once the dust is settled, obviously some things have to be dealt with now. Powers that be do not want anyone to make the connection between events.
Yes, understandable.
The Prince Albert Victor is going on a tour of the Empire. He's visiting India starting today, boarding the ship.
And is it going to ever arrive?
Of course he is. What are you thinking, Lawrence?
That I can't say. It's
Pardon my friend.
top secret. But I'm sure you will hear sad news in the future.
It'll be the next destination along, won't it? Yes, the first one is too suspicious.
Well,
Maybe over to Australia or something.
Mr. Clarkson could be knighted for his services to transport. Mrs. Roscar could be knighted or given a dameship for her services to agriculture. Dr. McCormick could be given his knighthood for his services to medicine, and I could be given a knighthood in service of myself.
I was going to say, what would you actually get for your knighthood, Mr. Chamberlain?
My services for culture and literature. I
As
know
in-
because I've seen a lot of it.
In your house when you stole it.
I have never stolen anything.
May I just say, I always knew you were no better than me, and now it's official.
Why?
It's not
talking
official
like
yet.
What do you mean? I was undercover before. Look, it's marketing, darling. Marketing. The Cornish brand has value. It's seen as rural and rustic, and I own the farm. So
So are you saying that Tunbridge Wells is your actual office and Cornwall is the satellite one?
I actually don't have any holdings in Cornwall. It's all in Tunbridge Wells, but sure.
It's all marketing. It's all marketing.
Well.
On a more serious note, I wanted to ask Lord Mace, what about the other members of the cult?
Yes.
Are they going to be dealt with as well?
It will be reported in the newspaper tomorrow that oh Christ, I forgot what he's called now. Henry
Matthews?
Yes, Matthews, the Home Secretary. We'll have an incident on the way home tonight.
Oh no. Oh no.
My lord, one thing which is the impetus for all of our actions here, I mean, we're so very pleased to have helped Her Majesty and so on, but our primary focus was in the exoneration of an innocent man who's about to stand trial. Could you, before the Home Secretary meets his unfortunate accident, get him to sign a writ of release?
Before we do need to bear in mind that whilst he's innocent of that crime, he was a member of the cult.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's getting out of jail for a reason and he's getting back in there for another reason.
Yes,
Well,
we need to arrest him for a different reason.
Mace says, well, we were actually going to leave him where he was. Is a very handy patsy to explain the murder of the young lady and not linking it at all to the unfortunate group that the prince was a member of.
That would not be congenial.
To who? He was a member of this cult.
And I am quite happy for him to. I am quite happy for him to do time on those charges. However, what he has been charged with, he is innocent of.
He's been charged with this murder. Is that any better than being charged with treason? Or any worse?
And how on earth are we going to explain to Lady Miriam?
The result is the same.
No, two wrongs do not make a right. Charge him for what he is guilty of, not for what he isn't. Hold the person who is guilty of that woman's murder to account.
Then you see the problem then remains that we need to find the murderer of the young lady. You've identified it as this Reverend Matheson, but he could be in a position to provide evidence that none of us want to come to light.
I have a suggestion.
He will be dealt with. But
I have a suggestion that may aid all of us. Arrest Reverend Matheson for the murder of the young girl. State that on top of the charge of murdering the young girl, he is seen or is suspected of being a necromancer. That way he'll be put under the very same drugs that our poor man has been put under. Therefore, he will not be able to divulge any information that you don't want let out.
And
you let the innocent man go. If it turns out that he is guilty of some nefarious crime, by all means, try him on that basis and convict him.
You can't try him on the basis of treason without exposing the whole plot, which would be an embarrassment to the crown.
It needs to be worded in a different way.
Also, I do believe the conspiration is a crime all on itself. So, it's doing the time.
At this point, Mycroft will grab Mace's arm and sort of turn him away from you a little bit and start whispering to him. Sorry. Can you roll me some listening rolls?
I'm hard of hearing. I'm not going to do very well here.
So what was the stat that's based on?
So,
what kind of roll is it? Perception?
So it's going to be perception again. It's perception wit.
How many black dice?
3.
Right. Jesus Christ, Phil.
Phil.
Yeah.
I've got 5.
I got nothing.
Phil,
Yes.
does the fact that I've got hypersensitive hearing, does that negate the black dice?
It does.
1.
1.
It's 6 on the black die that counts, isn't it?
Yes, 6.
Yeah, 1.
Hypersensitive hearing, my fucking ass. None.
Oh, 3 successes.
Look at that.
3. With the 5 black dice as well. Fuck yeah.
So, Mr. Clarkson, you must be closest to him or something, or even with your damaged hearing, they're just right at the right pitch for you to.
Yeah.
Either that or their sound is traveling down.
You're looking down, and you hear Mycroft say, Lord Mace, maybe it would be more convenient to listen to what they're saying. If we don't find some other way of clearing this up, then maybe we might have to find excuses for another 4 disappearances. And how do we explain to Her Majesty that her new greatest subjects have we've had to do something about them? So Mace will look over his shoulder at you and look back and whisper to Mycroft. I see what you're saying. perhaps there's something we can work out, but we can't have the trial linked to the family at all.
In order to appease Sir Nathaniel here, perhaps what we can do is have do what he says regarding putting the necromancy charge on this priest, release this other guy, and we'll find some. We'll actually, perhaps, once he's sobered up from the drugs, can actually talk to him about the thing he's guilty of and deal with him in some other way. Maybe just a honest to God mugging. Might just go horribly wrong.
And Mace thinks about it for a while. It says, we have to deal with Matheson anyway, so I suppose we could release Hulk for this particular crime, but we have to be arrested for something other than treason. You do realise that, don't you? You do realise he's not going to get away with it no matter what happens.
Well, we can see to it that he's perhaps mugged and hurt in a vicious, dark alley on the night of his release, a couple of meters from the police station while the policemen were looking the other way. Then maybe he dies of his injuries or something.
Or we could
Sorry.
we could perhaps take a leaf out of the book of our ancestors, and we could deport our friend to the colonies, namely Australia. Get him the heck out the
I
way.
just had a thought. Isn't he friendly with the other royal that wanted to usurp the throne? Maybe he could get a new job as his valet.
And then they can both snuff it.
Well, the prince is leaving as we speak. I'm afraid there will be no time to get him from the prison to the ship.
Well, that's okay. We'll send him out in a small rowboat. He can catch up.
Are you offering to supply? Are you offering to supply the mugging services?
Seems to be the duty of a knight to protect the crown. I suppose we could.
Okay.
I do also have contacts that could maybe help in this regard as well.
And he'll raise his eyebrow at that, Mr. Clarkson, and he said, an upright station master like yourself has contacts that would deal in muggings and...
No, that's not what I said. I have contacts who happen to know in a roundabout way certain people.
Let's not go through too many friends of friends. We'll just meet him outside the station, rough him up a bit, and then leave him bleeding.
Okay.
Maybe use the shorter broom then.
He says, we'll have him released then. 7:30 tonight? Will that be suitable for you?
As a possibility, could you release him to an undisclosed location, something guarded?
I'm thinking that we happen to have the taxi waiting for him outside the police station.
Well, I'm all for that, but I would very much like to talk to him when he's sober before we administer any correction.
This is part of my cunning plan, you see. We've got the time it takes from picking him up until we arrive in Tunbridge Wells, and then I can bury him and use him as fertilizer.
I thought we weren't supposed to be killing him, Mrs. Roscar.
I thought that was literally the point.
Oh. I misunderstood.
This is all to appease Sir Nathaniel here, who doesn't want him arrested for the murder of the girl on the dock.
No, he wasn't guilty of that. I'm all for him being arrested and tried for what he did do. don't like the idea
That
of him
would
being
expose the
tried.
crown that you're.
No one's being tried. No one's being tried for treason in open court.
Held to account for what he did do, not for what he didn't do.
Exactly. So we need another way of dealing with him because
Yeah.
what you're suggesting isn't going to work. So therefore, you're going to have to kill him. And I'll provide a plot of ground to bury him on.
And the plot continues.
So we pick him up in my cart, we take him to Tunbridge Wells. You can have all the time with him that you want to talk to him on the way. And then when we get to Tunbridge Wells, you slit his throat and we chuck him in the ground.
I've just noticed something quite hilarious on my character sheet. Apparently, I already have a knighthood.
Oh, do you?
Yes. I took that as one of my privileges.
Sir Lawrence.
Sir Lawrence.
Sir Lawrence, sir. Oh, God. That explains the Esquire, of course. Duh.
I forgot that.
Yeah, we all did.
So is that what you plan to do? So
Pick him up, take him to Tunbridge Wells. While we're there, on the way, we will discover exactly what he has done. Because if we are going to kill him, I'd like to kill him with a clean conscience.
It's definitely on you to do the deed because
okay.
it's you who won't let us
Let him be
solve it.
hung for something he didn't do. Yeah.
Mm.
I know it's an annoying thing.
You
It's
won't let him be hung for something he didn't do, but you will kill him yourself.
for something he did do. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the thing. It's not. I'm not against the idea that he's held accountable. I just want him held accountable for what he did do, not for what he didn't do. And I know how hypocritical that sounds from someone who spends his nights as a thief. But
Yes.
So he's going to be released. Mace will say we'll release him from Middlesex Session House at 7:30 this evening, if that will suit you.
Yep, we'll be waiting outside.
And I think my business is done here. Should you ever come up against such a situation again, please contact me at New Scotland Yard.
we shall indeed.
Surely do.
Lady, gentlemen, he says, puts his hat back on and leaves. And Michael
Lady?
claps his hand. Mrs. Roscar?
Yes,
It
sorry.
takes me about 4 hours to order some new stationery for the rebrand.
Mycroft claps his hands together and says, well, he says, that was all very satisfying. It's nice to see all the loose ends tied up. I think our business is concluded.
Glad to have been of service.
And he says, good day. He puts his hat on and he'll leave. And you're left, the four of you are left standing in the first class lounge,
Executive lounge.
executive lounge.
Stinks of smoking pipes in here.
Is it only me, or I feel like I'm being left blue-balled here?
Well,
We are.
I mean, we did all the things, find all the clues, all the stuff, and then somebody else is getting the explicit merit and to do the fun stuff. We just phone somebody.
Unfortunately, we just have to be. We have to just consider ourselves cogs in the machine on this one.
Yeah, you're most right, Lord Chamberlain.
Everyone has a function.
You're
Yes.
most right indeed, Mr. Clarkson Esquire, sir.
That's the first time you've ever called me by my proper title.
So
And will probably be the last by the look of your face.
No, I was thinking, and I think it is. Yes.
are you have you need to plan tonight, or have you finished in the waiting room?
No, just turn up in my cart with me
Yep.
broom in its rags and Nathaniel waiting in the back.
He's going to get ruined.
Oof.
I would never do that.
That sounds far worse than being shot, frankly.
It's up to Lawrence and Archibald if they want to tag along, but it's a messy business, so I don't know if you do.
I need to go and wipe the schedules of any trace of the royal carriage.
As you leave the waiting room, Sherlock Holmes is sitting on a bench outside. His hat is on the bench next to him, and he's got his hands on his cane between his legs, just sitting there. And as you sort of like file out the executive lounge side for the waiting room, he says, right, looking at it, just looking out across the tracks and to the other platform on the other side. He said, should I have any more work I can pass your way, would any of you be interested? You've handled yourselves very well with this little paper.
Well, I would say so.
Of course.
Excellent. Once you've done with this, if you'd like to come and see me, I might have something a little bit interesting, something strange, something I've shown a flair for dealing with.
I mean, this was kind of strange on itself. Do you have anything stranger on your hands? Because that's worrying.
Well, it was a something that came to my attention that Watson was very keen to write up, but he was toying with the title "The Hound of Hate."
The Hound of Hate.
Yes. So, like I say, once you've completely tied up the loose ends on this one, if you'd like to give me a visit.
We shall indeed. I am intrigued by this Hound of Hate.
I can't I promise you such an illustrious association on this one, but I think it will satisfy you.
We shall see.
Yeah, indeed. But then again, you had our attention the first time. We didn't risk that much, so you got at least mine attention this second time.
Well, he'll stand up. I shall probably see you in the next couple of days, he says. He snaps his bowler hat, his top hat on, and off along the platform.
Schedule
Actually,
permitting, of course.
As we have some time to kill before we possibly kill, a spot of luncheon, I would say, my treat.
Well, I do need to get to the printers, unfortunately. I've got rather a lot of rebranding to do.
I'm sure the printers can wait until after luncheon.
Oh, God, with all these mysteries to solve, running a farm is a lot of work.
So is
Trying to
running a
be
station.
Trying to be squeezed into the few hours available.
I will, however, join you for lunch, Mr. Chamberlain, and then I will get on with wiping any trace from the schedule.
Yeah, I'll come as well if you don't mind.
Of course, the invitation is for all. Well, when I say all, I mean all of us.
Not the
So
peasant.
where are we eating?
Lady's choice, I would say.
Savoy.
Lady's second choice.
Straight to the absolute top, most expensive place there is in the whole of bloody London.
I thought you had a reserved table there, Mr. Chamberlain.
Very
Only
good.
every
No,
third Sunday.
Savoy it will be. Sorry, when he said that, I have to say second choice.
Yes, so I said Ritz.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did Did anyone want a quick break? Seeing we're starting a bit later. Did anyone want to get a drink, or are you all right?
I'll get a drink because I'm done with mine
Yeah.
and I'm sweating sitting. So if you don't mind,
Yeah,
I'll have a
why not?
cigarette in the meantime. So
Yeah,
5 minutes and I'll be back.
Okay, couple of minutes.
See you in
then.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry I was distracted in the first few minutes of the session, but the Logitech website screwed up and applied the sale discount twice, so I had to buy some stuff.
Yeah, she's got into the Euro Truck Simulator games.
It's
And-
really good. I was surprised. Like I thought it'd be therapeutic, but it's actually incredibly tense and stressful.
and now she wants the actual like wheel and
Yeah.
pedals and stuff.
Okay.
I keep crashing because I'm on keyboard and overcorrecting and stuff.
There was this very funny point when she was pulling up to one of the toll stations, and there was this one that said reserved, and she went into that one and she hit this sign. And I was so surprised how heavy duty the sign was because it didn't even bend.
Yeah,
or
it wasn't a collision object. It,
Yeah.
it was the static
Right.
scenery of the game. You're not meant to go down there.
Yeah,
Excellent. No, I've not seen that one.
It's a trucker simulator.
like
You drive a truck. Like who'd have thought? Like, and I thought, oh look, it'll be like just a silly little thing. And I played it, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm a little bit. This is actually quite good.
Well, I've seen the kit you can buy for the flight simulation games. You can actually build like almost a cockpit with that.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, some people do, don't they?
Mm.
Well, this I've got the wheels, pedal, and I've got this side dashboard because I thought, fuck me, this is really cheap. I may as well just add this as well. And it's got lots of buttons on and stuff. So wire it all up.
Okay, so back in the game then. After you've had your meal, if you want, is there anything you want to do, or do you want to jump straight to the prison release?
Well, I don't know if Nathaniel wanted the lunch thing because he wanted to do some RP or not. Wanted-
No,
No.
no,
okay.
I just after our good news, I just thought it would be it would just be what Nathaniel would do is invite everyone for luncheon.
And you take them for a
yeah.
suitably expensive lunch.
Fucking
the whole time
Savoy.
I'm mumbling about printers and keep checking the
God.
time.
I've never had caviar.
Oh, it's the most
I've just-
expensive thing on the menu at the Savoy.
And it's really disappointing.
I'm sure Mr. Chamberlain exactly what he wanted to hear.
In fairness, it
Oh,
might
you
not be
can cook it.
then because it's kind of like hard to get now, isn't it, with the beluga?
I had
But know
caviar
currently
once
it's the
in
most
China.
expensive thing. Sorry?
Probably
I had it once in
yes.
China. It was very meh.
Well, caviar is a bit meh.
The orange
I
caviar.
I heard I heard the name caviar for years before I knew what it was. And when I found out what it was, two things came to my head. One, why is anyone eating it? And B,
Yeah.
why the fuck would anyone pay that amount of money to eat it?
No, I don't see it as like it's like eating chicken eggs. It's the same thing. It's just from a different animal, right? The weird one is what do they call it? Milt or something, which is fish sperm. And that's a thing apparently that some people eat.
Again,
Never heard that one.
And to actually get it out, you do actually have to excite the fish. There's syringes involved in everything. It's quite weird.
oh my god,
Hell of a job.
that looks
What's
You know,
we do for-
horrible.
You know, I'm in my early 50s now. I could possibly live another 30, 40 years, and I could have went those 30, 40 years without ever knowing that.
Oh yeah, but you've not looked them up.
Oh, if you do an image search, it's quite
Oh,
something.
it is,
That
yeah.
Milt.
Amazingly, I have even less interest now than I did at
Yeah,
No.
it's you can't unsee that.
no, just no.
Why?
Why?
Anyway, moving on.
Please.
Please.
Yes. I don't know if he's taking us to that sort of restaurant, but yes.
I was thinking fish and chips at a fry up, but we're going to the fucking Savoy.
They do fish and chips if you want to.
You could do artisan fish and chips. It is London after all.
So yes, you can gather together whoever's going on this little jaunt, and you can arrive outside of the prison.
Are we all going?
7:30.
Are we all seeing this through to the end?
I mean, I guess Lawrence could help direct, to Tunbridge Wells and stuff.
I do know that route. Just see,
I mean-
if you don't want to be there, given the nature of what Nathaniel is going to do, I fully understand.
Well, I'll look away.
I suppose you could have the job of going and explaining it to Lady Miriam.
I'd rather not.
Well, we can tell Lady Miriam that he was released. Beyond that, she doesn't need to know anything. Assumedly, we'll get another job to investigate the disappearance, but I'm afraid I'll be too busy for that one.
Also, our mission was not to have this old tried for murder. He won't be.
That is true.
No, we will for his murder.
So yes, you pull up outside of the Middlesex Sessions House just slightly before 7:30. The light is fading fast. There's a pea super descending. It's getting quite dark quite quickly. People are rushing home. There's very few people in the streets. The only person you can see that's actually lingering is the guy moving along the streets, lighting the gas lamps as he goes. Dead on 7:30, a small door in the larger door opens, and light floods out onto the pavement. You see some shadows moving about inside, and a man, pretty bedraggled, standing in his trousers and shirt and holding a jacket, is pushed through the door onto the street. And you hear a woman inside saying, be careful, he's being released. Well, he's not a prisoner anymore. And you recognise the voice of Dr. Gordon, Felicia Gordon, from you met before.
Oh yes, she's a loose end I wanted to take care of as well, but we'll deal with that for another time.
Our famous last words.
Plan of going from a standing start to serial killer.
Aren't thief,
It's all that talk of Dexter before we went live.
And one of the prison guards says something, and the door slams shut, and the guy's just left outside the prison on the pavement.
I will leave the carriage and offer my hand.
He will squint up at you and have I seen you before? Who are you? I seem to recognise you.
Yes, we were hired to try and ensure that these dastardly, vile charges against you were dropped, which we have successfully accomplished. Given the terrible nature of what you've had to put up with in the last few days, rather than take you straight home, which I think would be not the best for you at the moment, my friend has offered her out-of-town estate for a few days to give you a proper rest and recuperation. It's a bit of a long journey, but it'll give you a chance to reclimatize yourself to the outside once more after such a harrowing experience. I'm doing this as I'm gently but firmly pushing it, leading him towards the car.
I might want to drop by my house to pick up a few things.
Oh, we can pick those up on the way. Don't worry about it. We can.
Everything will be provided for you.
He's still
Everything
quite.
you need.
He's still the actual drug hasn't worn off completely. He's still a little bit befuddled.
Yeah.
And
Don't worry. You're about my height. Yes. Yes. I'm sure I have clothes there from.
Well, I have to tell my friends what's happening. If I could send them a message.
We've already briefed them on what's happening.
Yes. They all know.
They'll be expecting you in a few days once you've recovered.
Look,
Okay, I'm not exactly sure. I'm very tired.
would you? Yes. Would I mean? How would your friends like? How would you like your friends to see you? In this bedraggled and confused self, or after a few days of rest and recuperation, then you'd rejoin your friends, happy, full, all together, ready to party, as I'm sure they will want to have quite the do for you when you return to celebrate your release.
His shoulders drop a little bit. His shoulders drop a little bit further, and he sort of like he nods and pulls himself up into the carriage.
There you go, in you go, and my soul sort of slightly breaks with every sentence that I'm uttering.
Oh my god! No, it's murder. It says kidnapping, and
It's not kidnapping; it's
I think that's
escort
the
with
best part,
excess.
yeah.
so you start off. So the whip cracks and the carriage jerks forward and starts moving off towards Tunbridge Wells, a big pit they're in.
Yes, but what do you remember about everything before your arrest? I mean, we did try and come and see you in the prison, but they had you drugged up. They thought you were some sort of necromancer.
Oh,
You're
yes,
not, are you?
That's where I remember you. Yes, you were in the cell with Gordon.
You're
Yes, I
not a
remember.
necromancer, are you?
No, I'm not a necromancer. No, not at all. I don't know any magic.
Well, what about that? What about that young girl? I mean, the one they said the one they were trying to fit you up for murdering. I mean, let's be honest here. In the course of our investigation, we did discover that you did know the poor girl.
Oh yes, I did. I did know her. That's why I she accompanied me to a party I was going to.
Yes.
And,
Tell me about these parties. They sound I mean, I'm always looking for a fun, rambunctious do myself.
Well, I don't know that I'll be going to any more. It's not really worked out for me. But
Oh, how not?
well, I mean, there was just this falling out at the last one where the young lady went to, and she was asked to leave. I left with her, so I offered to take her back, but she wanted to go to she wanted to go to a church. Because what she saw at the party. So
What did you see at the party?
She was very upset by one of the members there. She was calling out, saying it was against God and unholy, and
Oh, was it a bit of an orgy? Was it?
it's just things happen at parties sometimes. It's a
Oh, so it was a bit. Oh, right. Now we want details. Don't spare my blushes. Don't worry. There's nothing you've done that I couldn't have imagined.
Right place I have hard of hearing at this stage.
what do you mean details? I mean,
Well, look. As I said, I'm always interested in a good old party, and if I'm going to consider joining this particular soiree, I kind of want to know what I'm getting myself into, or out of, or through, or over, or under.
Can I quickly interrupt and just ask Phil, is there some sort of way that, given Nathaniel's getting quite excited about knowing every single little detail about what's happened,
Yeah.
I'm
Lawrence-
fully in control.
yes, lovely, but Lawrence wants to check to make sure that the door to the carriage is actually locked, just in case he suddenly clocks what Nathaniel is doing and tries to slip out.
Oh, the spade we're going to dig the hole with, I'm going to push that through the handles so that it can't be opened from inside.
yeah, the little button on the door's down.
So much
That
for
solves
being
that question.
Well, I don't know if carriages actually had locks. The door is certainly shut. And there's a handle to it.
That's why I'm going to bar it from the outside with the
Yeah.
spade that we're going to use later.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually had locks, did they?
No.
So the door is shut but not locked.
Yeah.
Mrs.
but,
Roscoe's cart has a lock.
Um,
Well, that's why I was
a spade's
barring the door
a
literally
spade's
with
big
the spade
hand a
handle.
spade big handle through a spade's handle through the handle of the door would certainly
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
sort of cross lock it. You'd certainly bar it.
Good, good.
But putting a crossbar across. Do it to both doors. Get the other side as well.
Okay, you can probably do that without him noticing because he is a bit out of it. And he says, well, Miss Peach, she was a working girl,
Okay.
but she was quite a lovely young thing, not well trodden. Her inexperience showed, and while she was agreeable to most of the usual entertainments, she found much of the members' behaviours to be quite shocking.
Such as?
And copious amounts of champagne didn't seem to alleviate this.
What particular where did she draw the line?
She drew the line when she met Maverson at the party. It seemed to set her off quite a lot. She seemed to be quite happy with the rest of the people there.
You said a moment ago there that she was all right with the usual entertainment, but then there were some things that the members were asking for that she was not comfortable with at all. That would be?
I'm not sure the details. She would discuss it with me, but she was constantly muttering to herself about blasphemy and sacrilege, and almost like a lady walking on her daughter and the footman sort of.
So, how many of these parties have you attended?
Only a couple, 3 maybe.
And what actually happened there, other than obviously
A lot of drinking.
copious amounts of drinking and female entertainment?
Yes, basically. That's all really. Nothing else untoward happened.
Well, here's my problem, my dear boy. In the course of our investigation, we've had heard of these parties, and suffices to say that the picture you're painting of them doesn't match what we've heard. And if we're going to do anything about this organization, then we're going to need someone who can actually give us real information, real evidence as to what actually occurred there.
Well, you're not going to be able to do anything about the organisation. There's some very top-level members, some people you wouldn't want to mess with.
Toppling top-level people is a hobby of mine that I do for fun and profit.
Sort of people you wouldn't mess with.
As I say, fun and profit. Please give me details.
Of the membership.
Membership, what actually goes on at them, and
I couldn't divulge the people. I'm afraid my life wouldn't be worth anything.
I at this point
Yeah,
remove my sword from the sword ken.
Oh,
I don't place it near him. I just take it out and I said, I just look at him and say, at this point, I would really reconsider your answer.
what is that for?
Well, it has a multitude of uses. At the moment, it's being used as a lie detector.
I've been honest with you. I mean, honestly, I cannot divulge these people's names. It would put me in great danger.
Sir, I can assure you that you don't have to worry about the people who are outside of this carriage and outside of earshot at this moment in time.
There's some people from government and people from royalty. He says, looking nervously at the sword cane. Businessmen, barristers.
Yes, well, that's a nice randy bunch. But what exactly do you do at these meetings other than drink and copious female entertainment? And don't skip on the details because, as I say, I have a lie detector in my hand and I'm not afraid to use it.
Well, Reverend Matheson, towards the end of the evening, once everybody had enjoyed themselves for a few hours, would perform small service.
Oh, do tell.
It was just a little thing that some of the ladies would maybe give up some blood for.
Nathaniel, do you think it might be an idea to get a list of names?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think names would be wonderful. In fact, I've got a paper, I've got some parchment and a pen right here. Would you like to write the names, please?
Like I say,
Don't worry about the Home Secretary or Prince What's-His-Face, because they're already dead.
What do you mean? Dead?
They have departed. They have departed. They are no longer. They have pined for the fjords.
They crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
They are an ex-minister, an ex-member of royalty.
But they do have lovely plumage.
But they do have lovely plumage.
And he's quite shocked by this, but he starts writing, and the first one on the list is Sir Thomas Rathbane. And he continues down the list and maybe lists about 15, 16 people.
Now, hold on. Yeah. What are we going to do about him? Or is he actually being taken care of by the authorities?
I can't remember if I told Sherlock about Rathbane or not. Don't think I did, but this is a more complete list we can follow up with.
Yeah. I thought you were more set on Matthews.
Well, we did hand over the documents, so anything that was in the ledgers and stuff, you might well have already indicted them. But
that's true.
Plus, Rathbane has serious problems with his art at the moment to worry about.
And you trundle on through the night. Any more questions for him?
Oh yeah, I'm asking for details of this prayer meeting that Matheson performed.
Okay, well, he would take some blood from the various women, collect it in a goblet, and do a service where you chant over it, and then he'd anoint particular people, always the prince, and like the top echelons of the group.
And
he'd anoint them, and they'd have a sip of the blood after it's been.
I'm going to ask you a very forward question, and I would appreciate a completely honest answer. My lie detector would also appreciate a very honest answer. When you found out that there was a prayer meeting going on and taking blood from young women, did you protest?
I was shocked, but I didn't protest. I was in too deep by that stage.
Okay, just to say, Phil.
Along by events.
Phil, just to say that has sealed his death warrant. That answer has sealed it. I could almost have gotten away with him being a gullible fool, but he's clearly in up to his neck. So, yeah.
What would be worse is if he brought Miss Pete there for
Yeah.
this purpose, knowing
Yeah, that's the next question, actually. Miss Pete,
Yes.
did you bring her there?
To the party.
Yes.
Yes, he did. You know he did, yeah.
No, I'm asking him directly.
Yes, I did.
And did you know that this prayer meeting was going to happen?
It happens towards the end of most parties if the Reverend's there.
And did you know that it would be Miss Pete who would be asked to possibly donate blood?
I had no way that she knew of.
Did
the
you
Reverend.
know?
That she would pick, not that she would be picked specifically for blood, no.
But you knew it was a real possibility,
Yes.
and you brought her anyway.
Yes.
You didn't warn her.
No, she wouldn't have gone.
Mr. Chamberlain, you don't happen to have a spare lie detector, do you?
And I state this without any. I state this without any pun or attempt at humor. And I pull out I've got a small dagger. I do have the smaller lie detector.
That will do nicely, thank you. I just sort of sit there twirling it.
I know it's been unfortunate. I shouldn't have done it. But when Rathbone introduced me to the society, I was just trying to, I don't know, make myself more confident, more acceptable to Lady Miriam. But the more I got involved,
Does Lady Miriam know about this group?
no, I'm sure she doesn't.
So you were hoping that this group would bestow upon you power,
Yes, yes.
a certain confidence, a certain appeal that might woo
have it.
Lady Miriam to your side and your bed.
That's exactly it. I've
And
always
you were
been a
willing
bit-
to pay, and you were willing to pay for that confidence with the blood of the innocent.
Oh, I didn't know that at the very beginning. As I
Yeah.
said, by the time you
Yes,
find
but,
that out, you're in too deep. And they were people were ordering art from me, sculptures and paintings, and
Oh God, how long are we still going to beat around the bush?
Yeah. We've just passed my farm. Excellent. Because they're not actually going to bury him in my farm. And there's a very good reason for that.
Yeah, I simply turn round to him and I say,
Hang on. I open the door. Get him out of the cart first. I don't want to clean that up. Now.
okay,
On
see,
your-
I
on
just
your
rolled
knees.
for him. He still doesn't realise what your intent is.
on your
Wow.
knees,
He's out of it with the drug still.
on your knees.
What do you mean? What do you mean on my knees?
I'm about to give you a very good demonstration of in too deep. And put the
This is a
blade in
little
right to the hilt.
ceremony of our own.
Put the blade in right to the hilt,
All you do. What,
right through his chest.
Okay, you kill him.
I hand Sir Nathaniel the spade.
Yeah, I
Just
thought-
there.
I thought you were
corner
getting
of that field.
defeated.
Hmm?
Just there,
I thought-
corner of that field. It doesn't need to be deep. It's better that the body is discovered at the next harvest. This
Don't
is
go
the
too
neighbour's
deep.
farm. I want to buy it.
Don't go too deep, you'll disturb the other bodies.
This is Roscar, you sly fox.
Okay, yeah, you've killed him.
Yeah.
And they bury him in a shallow grave.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, he
Told you
deserved
the
that.
minute he said he was a willing participant, and he did nothing to save them. That was it.
Cup of tea, everybody.
So
Yes.
yes, this is
Take you back to the farm.
Yeah, I'll have a scotch if you don't mind.
I'll have what he's having in the tea.
I believe it's called an Irish coffee, that?
So yes, you have the evening at Mrs. Roscar's farm, and possibly head back to London the next day.
Yeah, it's not as nice as my villa. It is a farm, but it'll have a decent enough house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so did you want to do anything else, or did you want to end it there? Do you want to deal with the other members of the group?
Well, we'll hand the list, I think, to the Holmeses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we
what's
can
that?
just forward the letter to Scotland Yard and then we'll figure out the rest.
Place emphasis on the fact that he put Rathbane's name right at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Now, whether that's,
yeah.
I think, I mean, that may be because he was the one who introduced him, but still,
Yeah, that was his initial friend that got him into it.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
still,
to the
it's
point, we can confirm Rathbane is a member of that group
Yeah.
ourselves. In our own investigation, his name come up,
Yeah.
and then these additional people have been finger pointed.
Yeah.
When you get back to London, you notice that there's several entries in the newspaper. A thing like Henry Matthews was killed in an accident with a cab that ran away that the night before. Reverend Matheson was found hung in his villa, in his vicarage, I mean, sorry. And Rathbane, as he'd taken an overdose of drugs, found with a load of damaged art, so they think he had a bit of art, so they think he had a bit of a breakdown, destroyed some of his art and taken an overdose.
That may not have been Mycroft's doing.
Nope.
all's
so-
well that ends well. That's what I say.
There's new stories like this pop up in the paper, people doing this, and I bet
Why?
next,
What I like is the newspapers has actually done us a great favor there, because they're running with this narrative that he destroyed his own art in a fit of in a
Rage.
nervous breakdown, which clears the lot of us.
You lucky bastard.
and yes, Prince Albert Victor dies in India.
See? That's suspicious that way.
It's said to have contracted cholera or something like that.
Wow.
Okay.
Never makes it
Oh.
back.
All's well that ends well.
Yes. So that's the end of that story.
And on to the
Brings
House of
us-
Hate next.
To the next question, which is it the Hounds of the Baskerville? Sorry, Hounds of Hell. Or are we moving
Hounds-
on to the next game?
It's entirely up to you. I don't know how ready you are. I mean,
It's entirely up to the players.
I was going to say, if Becky wasn't ready, she wouldn't be asking.
No, I wasn't sure if that was end or if the Hounds of
I
Hell
could-
was the set.
we can go on as long as you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't go past midnight.
Oh, I didn't mean tonight.
No, next game.
Oh, okay.
Do
No, I
this
thought
again next week.
you wanted to
or-
start the next part right now. So
No,
no,
okay,
no.
it's totally fine.
Do we scare people with corporation next week?
We do need to get Giorgio into corporation.
It's up to the group.
Yeah.
So
It's long
Sooner or
overdue.
later.
I'm okay. I'm okay either way. I think that's a nice ending.
I'll do
But
corporation.
with enough with the hook of Sherlock Holmes giving us the Hound of Hate, that we could come back and pick it up,
You can do, yeah, sure.
which I would be up for because I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed this.
I do
oh,
have.
do you want to carry on and do the Hound of Hate? Hound of Hate. That was it.
Hound of Hate.
I do have a kind of objection, which is I'll be away the 2nd and the 3rd week of August, so I won't be able to play for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Given that,
Okay.
if you think it's plausible to make characters for another campaign and then don't play it, it's alright with me. But if you want to do another,
Yeah, not done.
Oh, I
Another
see. So you're here
arc.
next Monday, but the 2 after that wouldn't be. Yeah, no. I mean that's fine. I've already said that with the corporation game, there will be one character death before we do character gen, and one cameo.
I've not done character creation for quite a while with that, so I'm going to need some pointers on that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Ragnash
and,
Lil or Kylie Minogue, I'll just see myself to the rubber room right now.
It's got-
or a
it's got-
Luvatar.
It's gotta be
You've got to
fag
oil
ash.
the rubberware.
I'm
Yeah, but
I'm
you are
still
you
in
are supposed to
therapy
be
for
doing it
that.
a bit more tame, aren't you? Because what's his name is supposed
There's
to
a
be joining
good
us, is he
chance
not?
that the author of Corporation 2nd Edition might be joining the group for that game. So I will need to talk to him and confirm if we're starting it when we're
And
saying,
therefore, how R-rated to play.
which will need to necessarily be tamer for a new person coming in. But I mean that's fine. I didn't want to quite go quite so extreme anyway. Sorry,
Giorgio's a new person.
Giorgio knows what to expect from me. He's heard
Yes,
the
I do.
stories.
The
Right.
stories don't do it justice.
No.
we
Don't pick it
didn't.
up too much because I won't live up to it anyway. So
I don't know how you built on each successive game. How can you escalate from extreme?
I don't intend to. I wanted to do something a little more grounded anyway, so
Okay.
it wasn't going to be as extreme. I'm sure it'll have its
Plus-
moments.
Plus, it has to be said, we always, when we were doing the 2 sessions a week, the Monday was always the serious game, and the Saturday was the one where we kind of, did something a bit wilder and
Stupid.
weirder. And that's where we've been playing Corporation. We haven't played Corporation on a Monday. So it'd be interesting
No.
if we go with a slightly more
I think we have in the
serious take on-
past.
Yeah, way back in the past.
way back.
I mean, we did
Way.
4 seasons of Security Guard, though the 4th season was a single episode. But well, it was a Christmas special or something, I think.
Mhm.
As to the question, I'm easy either way. I'm enjoying this, but if everyone's
Me
looking
too. But I don't get a vote, so babe.
Again, I'm also fairly easy either way.
Okay, Giorgio.
yeah, I'm okay either way, as I was saying.
Phil.
If you don't mind stopping for a couple of weeks before actually getting into the
Yeah,
ease
no,
of
that's
things.
fine. Do character gen and then a little break is
Yeah.
fine, and then come into it to start off.
As you
Still
wish.
get to do a little bit of play during character gen, as I said, because
it's up to you, Phil. Are you
one of you before we
Oh,
are
play.
you
I'll-
up for continuing, or are you do you want to get in on Corporation
Have
and
you
come back
written
to this?
The Hound of Hell?
I can continue, but I would like to play corporation.
Well, there
Okay.
we go.
Then
There we
Corporation
go.
it is.
There it is. All right. I shall ask Ben if he wants to join us for next week.
All right.
Tell him not to look at the internet or search up corporation games in any way before next.
Can't tell the author of Corporation not to look up corporation games.
Tell him
Also,
to
if
look.
you
Tell him
guys
to
have
look. Tell him to look with an extremely open mind.
Also, if you
And then
guys
close it
have
again.
any material that I can read before next Monday, you can
Sure.
send it over.
Quick
Because
start.
I don't know if I still have what you sent me, Becky, once. I should check that. But you sent me some sort of source rule books for different corporations, etc.
We end the broadcast there before we confessed anymore.
Of course.
Of